Campaign 2020 is sponsored by Wisconsin Hospital Association, Quick Trip, Wisconsin Counties Association, Wisconsin Realtors Association, and Wisconsin Operating Engineers Local 139.
Tawny Gustina of Beloit is a Republican candidate in the 45th Assembly District. Tawny, welcome to WisconsinEye.
Hi, thank you very much for having me today.
I'm just curious, what are your top one or two campaign issues? Could you summarize them for me?
Amendment rights and education.
Amendment rights, explain that, please.
I believe freedom of speech is extremely important, whether that be peaceful protesting and or speaking out in public. I also believe that Americans have the right to keep and bear arms in a responsible manner. So I'm going to stand up especially for those two rights, but clearly all the rest of our amendment rights are extremely important to me.
Well, just to follow up on that, the governor would like the legislature in session dealing with his proposed bills on policing reforms. Do you have a position on the changes the governor would like to make?
I have not been able to read all through the governor's bill package, but I do believe and support in training and education for police reform. I do believe that there should be a ban on no-knock warrants and chokeholds. I am backing Blue Lives because I believe that there are many more good than bad out there, just as any other employment position.
Okay. Your second issue you mentioned, I think, was K-12 schools. You want to talk about the issues that you see with that, please?
I am a Wisconsin high school certified history teacher. I'm no longer teaching, and that is because I feel that the state has taken important pieces out of history that should be taught. Hence, I believe some of the issues and problems that we're having today. I feel that our children and past, present, future should be educated on our history. It is not there to make you happy. It is history.
Well, thank you. Can you give us one example of what's been dropped from the history books or history lessons that should be brought back, please? Anything come to mind?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
My mind is a little...
That's fine. I understand. Let's talk about the pandemic a little bit. Where are you? State Senate Republicans would like to repeal the governor's edict, statewide masks if you're in an enclosed area. Do you support the governor or no?
I do not support the governor. I believe that masks should be your choice. I, for example, have been dealing with some health issues and don't feel that the mask helps me in any way. I also am dealing with a hearing issue. And in order for me to read someone's lips, I can't always understand exactly what they're saying with the mask in front of their face.
Okay.
It should be your choice. If the masks work so well, then you should not worry if I'm wearing a mask or if I'm not wearing a mask. If you choose to wear a mask, I believe that is your choice.
Okay, understand. Let's talk about the state budget and the pandemic. A report came out Monday that said that taxes increased slightly in the last fiscal year, but everybody's worried about the current fiscal year. If we don't collect $1 billion or $1.5 billion in taxes, should we cut spending or should we raise taxes and fees, Tawny?
We should cut spending.
In all areas?
Yes, we should be budgeting fiscally responsibly, meaning that during the pandemic, clearly we should have budgeted prior and we should continue to budget so that we can fiscally be responsible for what is going on in our future and, for example, in our past. There should have been some sort of rainy day fund rather than increasing taxes.
Okay. Everyone has seen how hospitals in Wisconsin and nationally have dealt with COVID-19 patients. If you're elected to the legislature and voting on the next state budget, should hospitals be given an even greater priority in funding than maybe in the current budget?
Yes, possibly, but in all honesty, I would need further information regarding. I like to do my research on all sides of a topic to be sure that I'm voting properly.
Okay. This week, State Senator Chris Kappinga introduced a bill that said if you're a business or an organization and you've complied with CDC protocols to protect your customers and employers from COVID, you should be exempt from lawsuits. Do we need a state law like that?
No, I do not believe we do. If you are breaking the law, then clearly lawsuits should or could be involved. But if you are not breaking the law, then you should be just fine. There should be no lawsuit.
What's your position on legalizing medical and recreational marijuana?
That's a tough one for me. I've done some research on both sides, and I honestly do believe that it should be legalized for medical use.
Medical and not recreational?
Yes, correct.
Okay. The controversy in the Capitol over who should draw the next congressional and legislative district lines. The Constitution says the party in power, but the governor wants a people's maps creation to draw boundaries and then forward it to the legislature. Who's right?
Boy, this is tough for me because I'm not a career politician. The lines have been crazy attempting to reach out to my district constituents, let alone others. I do believe that the state constitution is there for a reason. So I would go with the party that controls the Capitol as we are voted in by the people versus a People's Maps Commission, although there could possibly be some or a committee formed for other suggestions toward the party that controls the Capitol help-wise. For example, down here in Beloit, my district is 45th, which is half of Beloit West. And the closest next district is Amy Loudenbach's, which is 31st. To make it less confusing for the constituents, I almost feel that the numbers should coincide with next door neighbored districts. The only closer ones to myself are 43rd and the 44th district. Otherwise, 46th district is not even anywhere near me. So it's just very confusing for, I believe, the people of Wisconsin to understand the district lines. And I believe that there should be some well thought out line districting.
Okay, let's talk about property taxes. We're a high property tax state. School districts and local governments have been living with caps and limits on their property tax levies for more than 20 years. If you're in the assembly voting on the next state budget, would you vote to continue those caps and limits on property tax levies?
Quite possibly. I do, though, believe that local should always be involved in local matters. So the local governments of where you are living should be clearly involved in those.
Okay. Do local governments need alternative new sources of revenue? City of Milwaukee, for example, wants to levy a new half-cent sales tax. Do local governments, to not rely so much on the property tax, do they need some new revenue options?
Maybe locally. I can't speak for the Milwaukee area or the Madison area or say the Green Bay area, Beloit area. If we are doing what we need to keep our local schools, businesses, etc., on the upward, then no, I don't believe there should be extra increase in sales tax. But if your local area doesn't worry about local business, local schools, people will go elsewhere and choose to live based on tax increase or not.
Okay, thank you. Last year, Governor Evers recommended raising the gas tax to stabilize how we pay for highways and bridges. Could you support an increase in the gas tax?
No, I will not support an increase in gas tax.
You would not. Okay. When a school district or a local government wants to do a public works project, should they have to give a preference to Wisconsin businesses? The reason I ask is in 2015, out-of-state contractors got public works contracts worth $72 million, but that increased more than double to $146 million in 2018. Should local governments have to give a preference to to Wisconsin businesses?
I honestly wish they would, but I do believe that free choice or what's the term? The estimated construction cost that per company would put out towards a project. If one is better than the other, then clearly the school district, for example, would need to make that choice based on the budget that they have.
Okay. We've talked about a lot of issues. Any other issues important to your campaign that we haven't hit on yet, Tawny?
I am not a career politician. I've never run for office before, and I'm doing so now because the communities in which I live, Beloit and West, I believe that I would be the candidate for the job to represent my district, as I've sat around roundtables with friends for years and decided to finally stand up against what is going on in our nation right now. Other topics that are really important to me are rural issues and healthcare. The concerns of my district are my concerns. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for the people that I live with and around. The difference between myself and my opponent is I grew up in Wisconsin. My opponent did not. He's actually from Chicago. He moved to Beloit to attend Beloit College, majored in political science. I also attended Beloit College, but I feel that he used the District 45 as a stepping stone for his career political path, and that is not okay with me. I'm fed up with career politicians. I believe that real civilian people should be involved more in government, and I'm attempting to stand up for my district to do so.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Tawny Gustina of Beloit is a Republican candidate in the 45th Assembly District. The election is November 3. Tawny, thank you for talking to WisconsinEye.
Thank you, WisconsinEye. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks very much.
May God bless you.
Thank you.
Campaign 2020 is sponsored by Wisconsin Hospital Association, Quick Trip, Wisconsin Counties Association, Wisconsin Realtors Association, and Wisconsin Operating Engineers Local 139.